What's going on, Cantina patrons? He's Darth Paul, I'm Padawan Dave.
And welcome to the Mudhorn Cantina.
Alrighty, Cantina patrons, on today's episode we are going to be getting up close and personal with the Sideshow Collectibles 1/4 scale premium format figures from the first and second seasons of The Mandalorian.
Starting off with the man himself, we have Din Djarin, aka Mando, accompanied by his adopted son, Din Grogu, though this premium format figure is depicted from the first season, at which point we only knew him as the child. It stands at a height of 20 inches or 51 centimeters, a width of 14.7 inches or 37 centimeters, and a depth of 12.8 inches or 31 centimeters. It also weighs in at approximately 19 pounds or 8.5 kilos, so it's definitely not on the light side. This figure is limited to 7,500 pieces, of which we have number 532. It features Mando and Grogu wandering through a barren land, the base made up of a sun-kissed and cracked terrain. Mando is adorned in his shiny Beskar armour, having collected enough Beskar pieces to have them forged. The armour still has a somewhat weathered look, no doubt from his battles and wandering through various barren and desert-like lands. The figure does not come with an alternate head mould featuring Din, and is only available with his iconic Mandalorian helmet, somewhat fitting the scene as Grogu would not see Din's face until the epic Season 2 finale. The Mudhorn signet is proudly etched into the right shoulder pauldron, again featuring some dust and dirt particles within the crevices. He is also equipped with his usual array of weapons and gadgets, including the whistling birds nestled in his left fan brace, an IB-94 blaster pistol holstered and at the ready, and behind the Amban phase pulse rifle attached via a strap across his left shoulder and torso. Some spare cartridges featured on the strap itself. You may have noticed his shoulder cape is actually a moulded piece as opposed to a fabric design, and this is to allow Grogu's pram to be attached to give the impression from the front that it is actually floating, as opposed to using a clear acrylic rod or stand. The pram also features some weathering, and Grogu is either sitting, kneeling, or perhaps even standing, using the pram's frame for support. The Grogu figure is a sculpted piece with a fabric texture design for his outfit and does not come with any other head molds. This particular head mold shows Grogu in a happy place, ready to explore the galaxy with his soon-to-be father.
Next up we have the former rebel shock trooper turned mercenary, eventually turned marshal and companion of Din Djarin and Grogu, Cara Dune. It stands at a height of 19 inches / 48 centimeters and has a much smaller width of 8.5 inches / 22 centimeters and a depth of 9 inches / 23 centimeters. It also weighs in at approximately 12 pounds or 5.5 kilos. This figure is limited to 2,500 pieces, of which we have number 1,233. Like the Mando and Grogu figure, she stands atop a sun-kissed and cracked terrain, and embedded in the sand behind her is a damaged remnant Stormtrooper helmet with a significant bullet hole top right. Cara is adorned in her usual blue and grey armour, which features a fabric texture-like design, though all pieces are sculpted, and like most armour and clothing in the Star Wars universe, hers is also weathered with plenty of scratches and dents. Like Mando, she does also come equipped with some weaponry, including a knife or vibro blade tucked into her left boot, and a blaster pistol already unholstered in her right hand. Her left hand rests on the barrel / scope of the drum blaster behind, attached by a strap over her right shoulder and torso. To complete the authentic look, she does have both tattoos present, the stripe design on her right bicep, as well as the small Rebel Alliance symbol under her left eye. Once again, this figure only comes with the one head mold, featuring her somewhat swept hairstyle and even the blue braid highlights on the left side. The face is a fairly good likeness to actress Gina Carano, but certainly not a 10 out of 10, something you will notice with the rest of the figures.
Completing the Season 1 figures, we have the main antagonist of the series, the warlord and leader of the remnant of the fallen galactic empire, Moff Gideon. It stands at a height of 19.75 inches or 50 centimeters, a width of 14 inches or 36 centimeters, and a depth of 15 inches or 38 centimeters. The width, however, can be adapted as the cape is adjustable, more on that in a moment. It also weighs in at approximately 18 pounds or 8.3 kilograms, so is somewhat heavy, similar to Mando. This figure is limited to 750 pieces, of which we have number 210. The figure depicts the scene from the end of the very first season as Moff Gideon escapes from his crashed Outland TIE fighter and ignites a dark saber, revealing him to be the current wielder at that point in time. The base features part of the Outland TIE fighter wreckage with all the weathering, scrapes, scratches, dents, and bent and burnt metal you would expect from a crashed ship. Moff Gideon stands atop, adorned adorned in his Darth Vader-like black Imperial garbs, once again featuring a fabric texture-like design despite being made of a sculpted piece. Unlike Mando and Cara, however, the outfit shows no signs of wear and tear, with that pristine look expected within the Galactic Empire. The black cape with inner red lining is however a fabric piece and, as mentioned previously, is adjustable. A wire sits inside the hem, allowing you to shape the cape to offer a more dramatic and dynamic pose. Once again, this figure only comes with the one head sculpt and captures actor Giancarlo Esposito's likeness fairly well, but similar to Cara Dune, it could be better. Like the others, Moff Gideon does also come with a couple of weapons. A blaster pistol is at the ready in the holster on his right side, though present in his right hand is the aforementioned Darksaber. One cool addition only with the Moff Gideon figure is a light up feature. On the base is a button which, upon being pressed, lights up two LEDs on his chest armour as well as the Darksaber itself. Sadly, this is the only figure to feature this, which would have been a cool addition to our next figure.
And that next figure is our first from Season 2, the Jedi, not Jedi, Ahsoka Tano. It stands at a height of 18.75 inches or 48 centimeters, making it the shortest figure, and although the base does have the smallest footprint, the dual lightsabers and their position means the figure has a total width of 13.4 inches or 34 centimeters and a depth of 9.5 inches or 24 centimeters. It is also the lightest figure, coming in at approximately 10.5 pounds or 4.7 kilos. This figure is limited to 2,500 pieces, of which we have number 84. Having said that, it is the only figure of the 5 that is currently not available on Sideshow at the time of filming this video, with it waitlisted if you did want to try and get one. Ahsoka stands atop a moss-covered rocky terrain base, with her right foot resting on a tree stump with oozing tree sap. Or perhaps just glue. Although Moff Gideon has a fabric cape, Ahsoka is oddly the only figure whose majority of clothing is made of fabric, including the pleated pants and belt, which also features stitching, patterning and beading to give this figure an incredibly authentic look. The rest of the outfit, including the top, armbands, gauntlets and boots, are all sculpted pieces but give off the look of textured fabric similar to the others. She comes ready for battle with her two lightsabers in her iconic fighting stance, one saber held forward and the other poised behind her. Unfortunately, unlike Moff Gideon, this figure does not include a light up feature. It would have been incredibly cool to see her lightsabers aglow with their bright white lights. Once again, this figure does only have the one head sculpt, featuring Ahsoka with her signature orange complexion, white face markings and white and blue Leku and Montrals. In our opinion, the likeness to actress Rosario Dawson is the best of the bunch, still not a 10 out of 10 but very good nonetheless.
Our final figure is the former bounty hunter turned crime lord and daimyo of Mos Espa, Boba Fett. Standing at 22.3 inches or 57 centimeters, it is the tallest figure of the 5 and has a width of 15 inches or 38 centimeters and a depth of 14 inches or 36 centimeters. Weighing in at 25.5 pounds or 11.5 kilos, it is also the heaviest figure. This figure is limited to 1,500 pieces, of which we have number 557. Boba stands atop the rocky mountainous terrain on the planet Tython, where he retrieved his armour back from Mando during chapter 14 of season 2. Like the figures we looked at prior to Ahsoka, all of Boba's armour and clothing are sculpted with a fabric texture-like design. We can see the knee pads peeking out from below the folded over pants, and the sash piece is detachable, offering the chance to give the figure a more dynamic pose. This figure's depiction is prior to the Book of Boba Fett, when Boba has his armour fixed and repainted, hence his iconic green, red and yellow armour pieces are heavily weathered due to the damage suffered in the Sarlacc pit following the events of Return of the Jedi. Despite this, we can still see the Mythosaur sigil present on the left shoulder pauldron, and Jastamariel's sigil on the right chest plate. Boba is heavily equipped with weapons and gadgets, as one might expect from a former bounty hunter. Ammunition is present on a waist bandolier, he holds a blaster pistol in his left hand, a gaffy stick in his right, his left and right van braces equipped with blasters, rockets, projectiles, grappling hook and flamethrower. And of course, we can't overlook the iconic jetpack and rocket, which also shows signs of damage and weathering. Unlike the others, this figure does actually come with two head sculpts. You can have Boba adorning his iconic helmet, albeit with the same weathering and damage as the rest of the armour, or you can pose him without the helmet, featuring all the scarring and damage he suffered while in the Sarlacc pit. Once again, the likeness of actor Tamara Morrison is not too bad, but in our opinion, it is the worst of the four characters whose faces we can see, and could have been better.
And well, there you go, Cantina patrons. That is the 5 Sideshow Collectibles premium format figures from the Mandalorian. At least I don't think there are any more, right?
No, that's the complete collection that they've produced thus far.
And nothing kind of scheduled, at least
no.
not that we know of.
No, not unless it's, I would imagine now it's been so long through, it's probably will be something from the movie if something new comes out.
Yeah, and are there other like quarter scale or like kind of lesser scale premium format figures they do?
I mean, there's obviously various different ones they've done. We've looked at some of the Mythos statues that I've got. Maybe not on this channel, maybe on the other channel.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
and then obviously there are just the general other premium format figures like the Grievous one I've got, and a few others that we probably should take a look at.
Yeah, for sure. We've got plenty of content to come, as we do always say in the outro. But yeah, because I think they're like really cool looking figures.
Yeah.
Particularly that like textured fabric design, I think, Sideshow, that we kind of stole some of the wording from them.
Like the actual sculpted textures
and
in it.
the paint jobs
really
look really, really good. The only one, I guess, I don't know if complaint's the right word, but slight disappointment is those head sculpts or face sculpts. They're not, as we said, like a 10 out of 10. I think like Hot Toys are kind of, there are some dodgy Hot Toys out there, don't get me wrong. But
a lot of the recent Star Wars ones, they've really been...
Well, I think the majority, you're hitting a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I think the, what was that ridiculous one, the Logan from the new...
Yes.
Like, that is huge. That's insane. That's got to be one of the, possibly the best I've ever seen. But these, to me, are more, like, depending on the character, like a 6 or, like, between a 6 and an 8 to a 8 out of 10, pardon me. So it could have been a bit better, but it's not. Like,
I mean, I think they are really good. I think Sideshow probably are the second best runner in terms of those sort of sculpts. Hot Toys probably are like really out there, but I think they've done a really good job. But there are just some things that just don't look right. I don't know if it's just their tone could have come up a bit, but the Boba Fett one for me, it's the eyes. There's something that looks slightly off. And I don't know if it's just because they're looking like slightly off to the side.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I kind of feel it was similar to when they revealed the Shin Hati Hot Toy. Like a lot of people said, "Oh, that like the face doesn't look right." And then I saw a video where somebody actually took a shot from the film and actually kind of laid them over the top, and they kind of looked identical.
Yeah.
But the difference was her eyes were looking in the Hot Toy were looking sideways, and I just wonder if that's what it is. Is it just our human perception? Not seeing something or seeing something
looks weird.
that looks weird to us, and it's a bit off. But other than that, they are really, really cool.
Yeah, I think
figures,
from a distance when you have them up on the shelf, they look cool. It's once you kind of just getting real close, you're like, face sculpt could be a bit better, but overall the figures in general, if you had to give a like rating out of 10, like the overall, they're probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah, I'd say so. I was really happy to pick them up. I mean, the Ahsoka one I held out for the longest because all of the others had come on discount. So I tried to pick them up, and then the Ahsoka one I actually think went waitlisted, and I was like, crap.
We mentioned.
Well, but I think it was when I bought it.
Right, I get you. Yeah.
And then luckily enough, I got a conversion and was able to pick it up. But it's the only figure of the 5 that never went on special offer. So.
And it's the only one, as we said before, that's waitlisted currently. Even though like Moff Gideon is a 750p scale, quite smallish compared to the others. But...
Yeah, but I assume Ahsoka's probably always going to be a popular character, so she'll always move.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you guys know what we think of these premium format figures. Let us know in the comment section below. What do you guys think? And well, Cantina patrons, that brings us to the end of this episode. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us here on the Mudhorn Cantina. It is very much appreciated, and we hope you did enjoy the episode. If so, be sure to give us the thumbs up. And we of course have plenty more Star Wars goodness on the way for you guys. We drop new episodes every single Tuesday, so if you're as big a fan of Star Wars as we are, make sure you stay tuned. What is the easiest way to stay tuned? It's very simple. Subscribe. Hit click, smash that subscribe button and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching today's episode, and as always,
may the Force be with you.